The engine's soft purr was the only sound that broke the eerie silence on the desolate night road. Mark and Lisa were on their way home after a long weekend getaway, their nerves still tingling from the isolated cabin in the woods. But now, the thrill of the vacation was replaced by a sense of dread as the road ahead disappeared into an impenetrable darkness. Lisa glanced at the dashboard clock, her heart skipping a beat when she realized it had stopped working. "Mark, the clock's dead," she whispered. Mark's brow furrowed. "That's strange. It was working fine earlier." They drove on, the only source of light coming from their headlights, which seemed to struggle against the thick veil of darkness. Uneasiness gripped them, and the road ahead seemed endless, like they were trapped in a nightmare from which there was no escape. As minutes passed like hours, they noticed an old, rusted signpost ahead. Its paint was peeling and the inscription was barely legible. Lisa squinted, trying to make out the words. "I think it says abandoned town 5 miles, she said. "We must have taken a wrong turn," Mark muttered, his hands tightening on the steering wheel. They hesitated but decided that turning back now would only prolong their journey. Besides, it wasn't a bad idea to find shelter in that abandoned town until morning. As they approached the town, an ominous fog enveloped their car. It swirled like ghostly fingers, obscuring their vision and making it impossible to see anything beyond a few feet. The unease grew into outright fear, and Lisa felt her heart pounding in her throat. "I don't like this, Mark," she said, her voice shaky. "I know, but we have to keep going. There's no other choice," Mark replied, trying to sound brave. The fog cleared slightly as they entered the town. The place was deserted, and the buildings loomed over them like ancient sentinels. An old, broken-down church stood at the center, casting eerie shadows that seemed to dance in the dim moonlight. Suddenly, their headlights flickered, and the engine sputtered. "Come on, not now!" Mark pleaded, trying to restart the car. The radio crackled to life, emitting static that made their skin crawl. Lisa tried to turn it off, but the volume increased on its own, filling the car with unsettling white noise. Then a voice whispered from the speakers, chilling their souls. "Leave, before it's too late." Mark's hands trembled as he tried to shut off the radio, finally pulling the keys from the ignition to silence the unsettling voice. "We have to get out of here," Lisa said, her voice desperate. But when Mark turned the key to start the car again, there was only silence. The engine had died completely. In the darkness, they heard faint footsteps, as if someone or something was approaching. Panic consumed them as they searched for any means of escape. Mark grabbed a flashlight from the glove compartment, and they stepped out into the chilling night. As they walked through the abandoned town, the feeling of being watched became unbearable. Shadows seemed to dance and contort in every direction. The church's broken windows revealed haunting figures inside, but when they looked again, they were gone. The footsteps behind them grew louder and closer, and their hearts pounded in terror. They ran, not knowing where they were heading, only hoping to escape the malevolent presence that stalked them. In the distance, they saw a faint glimmer of light. Another car. They dashed towards it, praying for help. As they reached the car, relief washed over them, but it quickly turned to horror when they saw the driver, a ghastly figure with hollow eyes and a malevolent grin. Before they could react, the figure vanished, leaving only echoes of its sinister laughter behind. In that chilling moment, they knew they were trapped in a nightmare with no way out. The night road had claimed them, and they were destined to join the countless others who had fallen prey to its horrifying grip. And so, the road waited, hungry for its next victims, lurking in the shadows, ready to ensnare the unwary traveler who dared to venture into its haunted realm.